way back, when I was just a little bitty boy, living in the box under the stairs at the corner of the basement, half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyway, life was going swell and everything was just peachy. Except, of course, for the undeniable fact that every single morning, my mother would make me this big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. A big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning! And it was driving me crazy. So one day I said to my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, what's up with all this sauerkraut?" And my dear old mother, she just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. And she leaned right down next to me. And she said, "It's good for you!" And then she tied me to a wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and force-fed me nothing but sauerkraut till I was 26 and a half years old. And that's when I swore that someday I would make it out of that basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the sun is always shining, the air smells like warm root beer, and the towels are oh so fluffy, where the Shriners and the Leopards play their ukuleles all day long and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Well, I gotta tell you, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true. Because the very next day, a local radio station had this contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules on Leonard Nimoy's butt. I was off by 3. But I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. 2020, a year that will live in our memories for a long, long time. We were trying to grapple at what was happening, and so we had to figure out new ways to live. As a result, some people picked up new hobbies, whether that be binge watching Netflix or hoarding toilet paper. What I did was find this song. For 11 minutes and 24 seconds, I was able to be transported away from the uncertainty of the times we were living in. So let me do the same for you. Let me transport you away and take you on this adventure. Because as I did with Al, when he went to Albuquerque, I went with him. I escaped, and it was a way out. Let me tell you the story that helped me get through 2020. This is Albuquerque by Weird Al Yankovic. You know, I'd never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really great. Except that I had to just sit between 2 large Albanian women with excruciatingly severe body odor. The little kid in the back of me kept throwing up the whole time, and the flight attendants ran out of Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts. And the in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore. And oh yeah, 3 of the airplanes that just blew up, and we went into a tailspin and we crashed into a hillside and the plane exploded in a giant fireball and everybody died! Except for me. You know why? Because I had my tray table up and my seat back in the full upright position. So I crawled from that twisted, burning wreckage, and I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days, dragging along my big leather suitcase, and my garment bag, and my tenor saxophone, and my 12-pound bowling ball, and my lucky autographed glow-in-the-dark snorkel. Till finally, I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are oh so fluffy, and you can eat your soup out of the ashtrays if you wanna. It's okay, they're clean. So anyway, I checked into my room and I turned down the AC and I turned on the Spectrovision, and I'm just about to eat that little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much, when suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Well, who could that be? I said, "Who is it?" No answer. "Who is it?" There's no answer. "Who is it?" And they're not saying anything. So finally I go over and I open the door, and just as I suspected, it's some big fat guy with a flock of seagulls haircut and only 1 nostril. Man, I hate it when I'm right. So anyway, he bursts into my room and he grabs my lucky snorkel and I'm like, "Hey, you can't have that. That snorkel's been just like a snorkel to me." And he was like, "Tough." And I was like, "Give it." And he was like, "Make me." Okay. So I grabbed his leg and he grabbed my esophagus and I bit off his ear. And he chewed off my eyebrows and I took off his appendix and he gave me a colonic irrigationist, and you better believe it. But somehow, in the middle of it all, the phone got knocked off the hook. And 20 seconds later, I heard a familiar voice. And you know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. To cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel. But I made a solemn vow right then and there that I would not rest and I would not sleep for an instant until the one-nostrilled man was brought to justice. But first I decided to go buy some donuts. So I got into my car and I drove over to the donut shop and I walked up to the guy behind the counter and he's like, yeah, what do you want? You got any glazed donuts? No, we're all of glazed donuts. You got any jelly donuts? No, we're all of jelly donuts. You got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts? No, we're all of Bavarian cream-filled donuts. Got any cinnamon rolls, man? No, we're all of cinnamon rolls. You got any apple fritters? No, we're all of apple fritters. You got any bear claws? Yeah, I'll go check. We're out of bear claws. In that case, what do you have? Listen, all I got right now is this box of 12 starving, crazed weasels. Okay, I'll take that. So he hands me this box, and I open up the lid, and the weasels jump out, and they immediately start biting me all over my face. Oh man, they were just going nuts. They were tearing me apart. But it's about that time that a little ditty started going through my head. I bet it went a little something like this. Get off me, 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 get off me. I ran down the street with these flesh-eating weasels all over my face, just running like a constipated wiener dog. But as luck would have it, that's exactly when I ran into the girl of my dreams. Her name was Zelda. She was a calligraphy enthusiast with a slight overbite and hair the color of straying peaches. And I'll never forget the very first thing she said to me. She said, hey, you got weasels on your face. And that's when I knew it was true love. We were inseparable after that. Oh, we ate together and we bathed together. We even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. The world was our burrito. So we got married and we bought us a house and had 2 beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly. Oh, we were so very, very, very happy. Oh, yeah. But then one fateful night, Zelda said to me, she said, Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club? And I said, whoa, hold on now, baby. I'm just not ready for that kind of commitment. So we broke up and I never saw her again. But that's just the way things go in Albuquerque. But you know, things really started looking up for me because about a week later, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, I got me a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even made Employee of the Month after I put out the grease fire with my face. Oh yeah, everyone was pretty jealous of me after that. Started getting a lot of attitude. Okay, like one time, I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil, and I see this guy Marty trying to carry his big old sofa up the stairs by himself. And I was like, hey, do you want me to help you with that? But Marty, he just rolls his eyes and goes, no, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw. So I did. And then he gets all indignant on me. He was like, hey man, I was just being sarcastic. That's just great. How was I supposed to know that? I'm not a mind reader for crying out loud. And besides, now he's got this really cute nickname, Torso Boy. So what's he complaining about? Say, that reminds me of another amusing anecdote. I was walking down the street and this guy comes up to me and tells me he hasn't had a bite in 3 days. Well, I knew what he meant, but just to be funny, I took a big bite out of his jugular vein. And he's yelling and screaming and bleeding all over, and I'm like, hey, come on, don't you get it? But he keeps rolling around the sidewalk, bleeding and screaming, completely missing the irony of the whole situation. Some people can't just take a joke, you know? Anyway, kind of lost my train of thought there. You know, I guess the whole point I'm trying to make here is, And I know it's a roundabout way of saying it, but I hate sauerkraut. That's all I'm really trying to say. So by the way, if you ever end up in an existential quandary, full of loathing and self-doubt and racked with the pain and isolation of your pitiful, meaningless existence, at least you can take a small bit of comfort by knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy old mixed up universe of ours, there's still a little place called Albuquerque.